I'm Gayatri Ohri, and I'm based in Dallas, Texas. Firstly, thanks Uma and team for having me here and having me here to share my story with all of you. The story I will share today is about my career journey and how I navigated that and to the path where I am today. And I'll close with three key lessons that I've learned along the way. So I'll start with one question. And I think that Robabe and Limor already touched on that, where you have this feeling that you want to do something more, where you have this little voice of doing a bigger thing, of doing something different, but you have no idea what that more looks like. And that was me in 2013. Back in India, I was a front end developer working day in and day out, developing web applications and websites. And I knew I wanted to do something bigger, something different, but I did not know what the next step was. The uncertainty of the whole journey, it wasn't painted in front of me. And that was very overwhelming feeling that I had. I had this dream of doing something big, of creating a big impact. But every time I thought of doing something, the self doubt in me was so real. There was this little voice that would creep in and it would say, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you even capable of doing this? Why not just stay where you are in your comfortable job? Why take the risk? Is it even worth it?" But then I realized something that I wish someone had told me earlier. Perfection is the enemy of progress. And so what I did, took the next step, and I decided to do my master's in the US. I remember in 2014, then a year later, when I thought that I wouldn't do the master's, I remember staring at my grad school applications, hesitating every time I would hit that submit button. My GMAT score wasn't special, it's pretty okay. My experience was pretty standard. I was an engineer who wants to do MBA. But there I was in 2015. I got accepted, and 2 years later, in since I taught in 2015, with two suitcases, is all I brought to the US and a million questions in my head. Am I ready for MBA? Can I handle the coursework? I don't have the business background. How will I be able to do it? Again, those voices kept coming back in. I also asked myself, can I do a master's in science together with my MBA at the same time? But I did it anyway. I did both in 16 months, and I was so proud of myself. After my studies in the US, I went into sales operations. That's where I spent my last 8 years of my career, 6 years at McAfee and the last 2 years at AWS. And so when I moved to AWS, I was 8 months pregnant, but I did it anyway. I took that step. I learned a lot along this journey, from analytics to automation to strategy, process improvement, business connections, how to talk to customers, etc. But last year, I realized that something was missing. Again, that voice came in my mind. I want to do something more. I'm an engineer at heart, and I love solving problems with technology. And so I'd realized that I moved away from tech a little bit as I was working in sales ops. And I knew I wanted to be at that intersection, at that sweet spot of biz and tech. And that's when I decided I want to work in the field of AI. For me, when I started my career, AI just belonged in sci fi movies. And then that voice came in again. Can you do this? You know nothing about AI. But I took that first step. I moved past that doubt and I started even when I was not ready. Started self teaching myself, went on YouTube, did online courses, did certifications, raised my hand for projects at work, tried to be that change champion. And here I am leading now Gen AI initiatives at AWS, helping our customers navigate AI transformations to deliver business outcomes. I still, and you know what's surprising? I'm still a learner. I still ask those basic questions. And it's okay to be a beginner sometimes. It's okay. And that's where exactly growth happens. So, three things, as I promised, those that I've learned along my journey. Number one, your story, your background is your superpower. That's not your limitation. And that's the reason this session is also called Limitless Inspirations, because exactly that's what we are. We are limitless inspirations for each other. When I felt like an outsider when moving to the US, I made myself realize that my perspectives and my unique combination of skills and experiences is my superpower. I can see things probably that others might have missed. It's not about arrogance, it's about believing in yourself. That's number one. Number two, take those micro steps. And before I talk about this one, I want to share that I'm also a mom in addition to being a professional. And I really love cooking for my toddler, who's very moody though. But why am I sharing about cooking? Don't want to make everyone hungry here, but cooking is just like progress. At first, onions are just onions, spices are just spices. But when you add one ingredient after another, adjust the heat along the way, you can create something really amazing. Not every time, but that's also part of the journey. And that's why I really think that progress is about taking micro steps, and growth happens in those small decisions and actions we take every day. It's not about giant leaps. There's nothing called overnight success. It's about those small actions. Those create real change. And one thing in this one that I'll leave you with, it's not good to be the smartest person in the room, but I think the best thing you can do is to be the most curious person in the room. Learn and be curious, take those micro steps. And then third, be a force multiplier. What I mean by that, look around this room. We are sharing our success stories, 3 days invested my time here, listening to everyone, every lesson learned, every struggle, every courage story. It's not a solo journey. Success is not a solo journey. It's about creating the ripple effects of change, becoming that force multiplier. When you lift others as you climb, when you share your struggles openly, it can become your courage can become someone's inspiration, the limitless inspiration we are talking about. So here's my question to all of you, without taking a lot of time here. What's that imperfect action that you're putting off? Maybe it's applying for the role before you're even ready. Maybe it's taking that online course. Maybe it's doing some higher education. What about traveling to a new place or quitting your job? Anything, whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's okay. It just has to be forward. Because let me tell you, your journey, for it to be powerful, for it to be your own, does not have to be perfect. It just needs to start. And that's the power of taking imperfect action. Thank you.